In this video, we're going to explore the modules portion of editing a My Market Toolkit website page. Now, on the right-hand side is your control panel where there's settings, content, and modules. In part 1, we explored settings. Part 2, we explored content. Now we're going to explore modules. In order to use a module, you must have at least a content structural element in place. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of columns in place so we can explore the modules. So I go over here and I put some structure in place. Once I put the structure in place, I can then use the modules. Now, modules are a dynamic area, meaning when you come up here to your design area and create modules, you're creating your very own modules. There are a set of default modules that come with your site, but this is one of the most powerful portions of My Market Toolkit because you can create your very own reusable modular code and design that can be placed on a page without you having to recreate it every time. This includes both modules as well as JavaScript library functions. So over in the modules, these includes and modules that you're seeing are ones that come with the site. Once again, you can build your own though. So for includes, we have a footer and a header. Please note, this footer and header are on each page automatically if you've selected a header, body, footer website template. You do not need to re-add them on each page. They will appear. This page editor is only the main body content portion of a web page. The header and footer are placed on a page automatically based on your template. So if I were to put a header module here, which I could do, I would now have two headers. And that would frustrate me later on when I tried to figure out why I have two headers on everything. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because it really is actually quite frustrating. In our web modules, this is the one that we see used most often is our contact form. So when you go over here to design modules, you can create your contact form in whatever way you'd like. You can create half a dozen of them if you want, if you have different contact forms for different reasons. And they don't have to be contact forms, they can be any type of form. In this case, it's a contact form, however. So we take that contact form, we drag it in, and now our contact form is there. If we want to edit that contact form, we can edit it further. It will be a universal edit, and anywhere that contact form shows up, those edits will be effective. So it is a universal thing based on your overriding module. So there's a contact form, navigation. Once again, navigation is normally put in the header. If you have a separate navigation button that you like to use, say for subcategories or things like that, we see that sometimes, you can also put that on a particular given page if it makes sense to. Another module is the slider module. Once again, you can have multiple sliders for multiple areas of your website. The slider again can be edited. It's a universal edit, so if the slider has the same name, it will be the same slider throughout the website. You drag it and drop it and it's done. See, there's several other here. There's a search form. This search form will allow you to search the contents of the site wherever it's at. And let's go to our web variables. These are dynamic variables. For instance, we have our current day. Current day will always be today's date. And so this is dynamic modules that have scripting and coding behind them, so we don't have to rebuild it every time. We simply use a module and we can just drag and drop it in. Blog modules, these are particular for our blog. We don't have a blog volume set up in this website, but if we did this, and you can still put blog features into a website volume, but generally these are used in the blog volume, and so there's some default variables there as well. Catalog, same thing. We don't really have a catalog. We can still use it, but we don't really need to. The advanced, this is where most of your modules that you will set up show up. The defaults in there's accordion, thumbnail galleries, tabbed content, are some of the modules that we have built in that we see commonly, and so we made them defaults in the module section.